Hello, welcome back to episode 69. So we're finally gonna try out the Discovery Tours this episode. So it seems to be like a separate thing, but from what I understand, you get like rewards for the real game character once you have done this. I really don't know what to expect from this, to be honest. And I don't know how long these are either. So we can do several in one episode. Either a shorter collaboration with Hampshire Cultural Trust. Oh, look at this.
Hi, traveler, and welcome to Discovery Tour Viking Age. Just like the brave Scandinavians who left their homes on longships in search of new horizons, a quest for knowledge and a promise of adventure awaits you. For 3 centuries, adventurers set sail in search of trade, land, and sometimes plunder, changing the world forever in ways that can still be felt today. We call these adventurers Vikings. Some remember them merely as brutal warriors and merciless conquerors. But there is much more to be learned about their rich and complex culture. History will come alive for you through the eyes of those who lived it. Norse merchants looking to make their fortune, an Anglo-Saxon monk in search of his life's meaning, and even King Alfred himself. You will follow their deeds, both great and small, as they navigate their eventful time in places known today as England and Norway. But fear not. Discovery Tour Viking Age is a safe, combat-free experience that you can enjoy at your own pace and in your own time. Tapping into the years of research of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla team, its content has been crafted in close partnership with renowned historians and academics. On behalf of the entire development team, we hope you enjoy Discovery Tour Viking Age. May the seas be kind on your journey.
Right. Could be interesting. What's an honor? Torstein, a young merchant, prepares to leave on his first riding expedition, perilous voyage across the sea. But before he leaves, he must settle his business affairs and attend the assembly of free men. (866 CE), Stavanger, Norway.
Your father would be happy to come to the farm's company.
You'll be off raiding for months, not years. Shorter than your trade routes even. The farm and I will still be here when you return.
And return I shall.
You had better, or I'll come find you.
Trick, do you have any questions for me before I leave?
No. I'll take good care of Gunhilda's reputation while you're away.
I doubt she'll need help, but I'll be glad to know you're here all the same.
Come, Thorstein. The market waits for no man.
Coming, my love!
So what is this gonna be? Like an interactive movie?
I'm coming, Gunhilda.
Discovery sites and behind the scenes. Interact with Discovery sites behind the scenes and check the learning entries to learn more about historical facts and the making of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Revisit them in the menu. Stavanger, daily life. Stavanger was built as a natural...
Cuddle him, my love. He's a grown man, not an errant child.
As a natural coastal harbour in southwestern Scandinavia, while little is known about its history in this epoch, what is known helped to inspire key events in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is said that the famous naval battle of Hafrsfjord took place near Stavanger in the late 8th century CE. The battle pitted Harald Fairhair against a coalition of petty kings determined to prevent the young Jarl's rise to power. Among Harald's adversaries was a man named Kjotve the Rich, Jarl of Agder. He was the inspiration for the despicable Kjotve the Cruel, whose actions in Assassin's Creed Valhalla draws a player requested for vengeance. To create Stavanger in Assassin's Creed, the development team drew inspiration from the trade market of Kaupang. Kaupang, pictured here, is located near the modern-day city of Oslo, in Norway. Alright.
Slaves, talk Gunhilda. If he returns to his family and says we mistreated him, I might find myself in a duel.
No duels until you've worked on your swordsmanship.
I'm sure to get practice on this expedition with Harold. Our enemies may not fight with blunted blades, but he's promised me the children of Stavanger are far more fierce.
The children who struck you as you lay sleeping, then ran away laughing? You'll need to keep your wit about you if so.
So, suppose we'll do the main thing first here, and then we can explore perhaps. Yeah.
Ulf, good morning.
My mother loved the fine woolen cloak you sold me. The stitching is exquisite.
Of course. My wife takes great pride in the needlework, with good reason.
You must have been blessed by Heimdall, a vision so keen and hands so steady.
Only a talented mother and a very patient husband.
Give Alvik a kiss from me next time you see her.
I will. Fortune guide you, friend.
Just think. After a few raids, we'll have enough silver to leave this place for good.
Have you not been happy here?
With you, I would be happy anywhere. But Stavanger is small.
Too small for the grand dreams of the shepherd girl.
And why not? Even a worm may one day hold up the sky.
Come. Mikael has promised to aid you in my affairs while I'm at sea. You'll have plenty of time to dream while I'm gone. Mikael, it's a fine day for a little business, don't you think?
Get away from here, Thorstein! I won't be seen dealing with an oathbreaker!
A what?
Keep your voices down. On what grounds do you base this outrageous claim?
That is for you and Bjorn to discuss!
I can't believe he'd betray me like this.
You haven't known Mikkel that long. He has to protect his own reputation first.
Not him, Bjorn.
Ah, he's always sniffing about your trades like a wild dog. He envies your success and wishes to take it for himself.
Well, we won't let him. We've worked too hard for him to take this chance away from us now. We'll not let Bjorn get away with this, I swear it.
Norway. Trade and economy. In 864 CE, many small kingdoms laid claim to the western coast of Scandinavia. They struggled for wealth and power, and many sought to control available sailing routes in Norway. A cargo ship following the Norway would leave the Oslo fjord, cross the Skagerrak Strait and enter the North Sea. It would then hug the Atlantic coast to the North Cape, eventually arriving at the White Sea. To maintain power, kings needed to keep wealth flowing to allies and followers. Controlling part of the Norway could help a king to keep the riches coming and keep his followers happy. These holdings allowed the young king Harald to dominate the trade routes and rise to great political and social power. This map depicts the estates held by Harald Fairhair along the Norway, Norwegian coast. Lygra, Seim, Hela, Alkstad, Fitjar, Vassnes, Utstein, British Islands. Where are we going? It really looks amazing, this game. And this is not like I don't even have the max graphics settings. It still looks this good. Fellowship over politics. A Fellag was a legal, social and business fellowship formed by 2 or more people. Members of a Fellag often became trusted companions. The English word fellowship came from the word Fellag. Fellags were formed for a number of reasons, including being a boat, funding a sea voyage. A married couple could also be referred to as a Fellag. The Fellag was like a second family. Each Fellagi, or member of the fellowship, protected his companions and their interests. If a Fellagi was killed, one of his fellows would avenge him. Take care of his funeral arrangements and honor his memory by immortalizing him in a runestone. This runestone was erected by 3 surviving members of a Fellag to commemorate their partner and recall the most noble wilderness of man.
Bjorn! What have you done? What falsehoods have you been spreading about my family's honor?
Nothing but the truth. This sail your wife made, that you sold me, is as rotten as your intentions. You wish for me and my men to drown on the open ocean, where our bodies would never be found.
Are you a fool? Even if I wanted to leave you stranded and sail west alone, Harold would never allow it. He would make me rescue you, and then we would all be doomed.
I don't claim to understand you, Oathbreaker, but your methods are plain. I believe I'll go inform Harold of your duplicity. He should be arriving in a moment now.
That's good.
My love, that is no work of mine.
I know. This was done by a hand far coarser than yours. Bjorn is trying to sabotage my place on the expedition.
You cannot let him accuse you in front of the assembly. No chieftain would ever take you on again. I will not see my parents starve because of Bjorn's lies.
Then I must gather evidence and bring his falsehoods to light.
I will speak with the wives to rally them to our cause, and I will pray to the Hamninja for guidance.
Our ancestors will give you wise counsel, I'm sure of it. I'll see you outside the assembly.
Goes with me.
If I were an impulsive oaf, why would I hide a sail? These crates came from not far. No local wares then.
Look at this.
Tell me, did Bjorn accept any wares these past few days?
Surely he did. I carried them myself. Wet and nasty they were, smelling as if they'd been stored at the water's edge.
Did you happen to see what was inside?
No, but it had that damp sheep smell. Wool, I suppose.
Thank you, my friend.
This is pretty cool, but I like this. It really is like an interactive movie. What am I missing? There.
That is Gunhilda's stitching. So Bjorn planned to take her sail for himself after all. It will need to be more than my word against Bjorn. I'll need people to vouch for me as well.
Rally allies to your cause. Games and sports, daily life. Medieval Scandinavia's innovative games and activities in their free time. These sports were not played just for fun. They were a chance to own participants' technical cunning, mental fitness, and physical strength. Indoor board games were often strategy contests like chess or checkers. In the game, Tafel, one player controlled the king and his personal god. He had to survive against the other player's group of attacking pieces who were placed around the four sides of the board. The chess pieces in Tafel was made from bone. Pieces could also be made from raw materials such as wood, tooth, and walrus ivory. Outdoor sports were very physical and competitive, requiring strength, endurance, and agility. One activity was the glima, a form of wrestling with no holds barred. In the glima, each wrestler had to struggle to keep his opponent pinned to the ground. Medieval Scandinavians also loved to ski. Alright. Wrecked 1,000-year-old board game. What?
Even warriors get some playtime. Indeed, it seems that Vikings played board games that involved throwing small objects, such as carved wooden figures. However, the team couldn't find any clear rules for these games. But all hope wasn't lost. The developers of Singapore, Chengdu, and Montreal studios all came together to invent new rules and mocked up their prototypes in a tabletop simulator. And then probably got really angry when one of them won and the rest lost. Everyone on the team could experience and enjoy the evolving versions of the Orlog 2.0. A first physical prototype was also made, using real dice that were painted over. The game of Orlog was reborn. And AC Valhalla's version of the Orlog was so loved by fans that Ubisoft partnered with Pure Arts to produce real-life Orlog sets.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Runes and runestones, art and culture. Runes were both magic symbols and alphabetic characters. Engraved on stone, decorated runestones. Old Norse rune means secret or esoteric knowledge. Runes made up a Futuric runic alphabet. Each rune had a unique meaning. For example, the rune Munyu engraved on this little bloodstone is the letter W, as well as a rune of joy and kinship. As with all written words, runes could carry memories and histories into the future. By engraving them in stone, Scandinavians ensured their stories endure. Runestones told a wide variety of stories. They could also honor people and events. Sometimes women would order a runestone engraved to commemorate the courage of their husbands and sons who perished in battle or at sea.
Friends, neighbors, listen to me. Bjorn has declared me Oathbreaker, calling my good name into question.
We saw the sail. It would have torn in the first gust of wind.
That was a sail he bought from Notfall, carried to us in sea-soaked wood. My wife's sail he kept aside for himself, to use once he reached the open sea.
I am familiar with Gunhilda's stitching. That sail was no work of her hands.
What reason does Björn have to lie? If revealing the truth is as simple as you say.
He hoped to turn Harold against me, to keep me from tomorrow's expedition, to hide the truth until I had already been exiled. If you care for we who will travel with him, this insult cannot go unanswered. He would endanger his crew for a petty grievance. He is unworthy of command. Free men of Stavanger, hear me. We must inform the Assembly. We must inform Harald Jarl. Only then will our safe return be assured. Are you with me?
The assembly is about to start. I need to find Gunhilda.
Okay. What I'm a bit worried about here is if I do the main quest here, that I don't get the opportunity to do the exploration here and do all of these, the yellow markers. Hamingya, a family spirit, religion and magic. Hamingya was the spirit of a family and was responsible for its luck and prosperity. Hamingya bound each family member together. Family spirit. Luck could be shared with family and friends, but it had its limits. Hamingya had to be treated with care and respect. If a person or family behaved badly, luck could turn and spirit Anne. Legend said that the Hamingia often appeared as a giant, ghostly woman, at least one created in concept art. Pretty cool. The art for making charcoal. Wood charcoal serves as fuel to heat forges. The wood was left to burn and char in a pit for many hours before being brought to the forge. When burning wood is exposed to oxygen, it turns to ashes instead of charcoal. To prevent this, Scandinavians covered their fire pits with turf, cutting them off from the air. This ensured the supply of fuel. There is a modern recreation of this ancestral technique. Fashion status symbol. Fashion was a way for medieval Scandinavians to showcase their wealth and influence. A person's jewelry and the color of their clothing were important status symbols. Deep, richly colored fabrics were available, which colors meant that the material had been dried more than once. Whose dyeing was expensive, wearing colorful clothing was a sign of wealth. Some colors were intended specifically for high society. According to archaeologists, blue fabrics were often worn by the very wealthy. Jewelry was another sign of social status. More expensive jewelry, the wealthier its wearer. The size, material, and quality of pieces of jewelry determined their value. Silver was the most common metal in jewelry. Gold would have been worn only by the very wealthy individuals. Colorful glass or stone beads also prized fashion accessories. Kin and household. Family was the cornerstone of ancient Scandinavian society. A person's spiritual and legal identity was tied to their family and heritage. Family members shed more than blood. They were bound together by a spirit called Hamingia. Hamingia was responsible for the prosperity and luck of the family. Family mattered more than on a spiritual level. It also defined a person in the eyes of the law. Rules about landholding, inheritance, and more were all centered around the family rather than the individual. A person who did not know the lineage or ancestry was not legally recognized. It was common practice to honor one's kin, whether living or dead, by engraving their stories and deeds on rune stones like this one. Question of favor. How did the cloak and a red sash and a few subtle details hint at assassin's background?
Every detail matters when designing a main character. Personality, backstory, mannerisms. Eivor the Wolf-Kissed must have a noticeable scar, and tattoos to represent past events, beliefs, and clan affiliation. A mood board was made with various references from Mad Max's Furiosa to Major Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell, which allowed concept artists to create compositions, silhouettes, shapes, and concepts. Then the character modelers designed the details, hairstyles, tattoos, outfits, and even leather stitching, while animators focused on body movement and facial expressions. Finally, actors Magnus Brun Nielsen and Cecily Stenspill were cast to give Eivor a voice, tailored to her or his personality. It's alive! Alive!
Thing, or assembly, law and justice. The Thing was an assembly of Norse freemen who discussed politics, war and trade, and acted as a court of law. Rules were made, crimes judged, and punishments doled out. Things were held throughout the year. The chieftain or king presided over every session. He was sometimes joined or replaced by a lawmaker at court knew all the laws by heart. Also to be remembered was the Scandinavians and Norwegian legal code at this time. Every freeman had the right to speak freely at the Thing. He could share his opinions, ask questions, and weigh in on issues of social interest. He could also demand justice for crimes or slights. Even though all the freemen had the right to be heard, the elected members of the Thing could use their influence to steer the assembly's decisions their way. When the Scandinavians settled in Iceland, they held their Thing in a place they called Thingvellir, the assembly field. Here's a photograph of the Thingvellir today. Character unlocked Sona.
I found your sail and the mark of the goods Bjorn claimed were ours. His lies are already falling apart.
You've done well, but I fear what you have found may not be enough to convince the Assembly. What will you do?
I will demand a Manjapnater and declare my own deeds as evidence that my word holds more weight than Bjorn's. His reputation cannot compete with ours.
A sound plan. I have rallied the wives to our cause and prayed to the gods. Even if you lose, my silver-tongued warrior, the women will make the Assembly see reason.
I see my heart beats as fiercely as ever.
Go now. Reclaim our honor.
Forsetti, bless me as I defend my honor.
Thorstein Oathbreaker! Come to beg forgiveness with your tail between your legs!
Men of the Assembly, Bjorn claimed the sail I sold him was rotten. But I have found Gunhilda's work hidden, and the sail he claimed was mine came in sea-soaked wood from Notfall. He sought to ruin my reputation to cover up his poor trade, all so he could claim Harold's favor as his own.
Thorstein, if what you say is true, Bjorn is guilty of lying, injury to your reputation, and of an arrogance that could have led to the deaths of his crew and yours. Yet he was the one to bring you before the Assembly. So now you must choose. How will you defend your honor?
We will have combat aplenty across the sea. I choose the Manjapnater.
Come then. My tongue is as sharp as my blade. Declare yourself worthy, if you can.
Verbal yells. During the duel, listen carefully to what your opponent is saying. Select the most suitable and accurate answer within the available choices to win the duel. But beware, you only have a limited time to answer.
I'm the finest of navigators, at home on the sea.
Yet the ships and the rations were handpicked by me.
True, but I was the first to be picked for this crew.
And Harold sought me when he already had you.
How can he believe you are the better choice? You're playing him for a fool. You're a liar, a thief, and a braggart, a pest!
Oh wow.
My worst is still better than you at your best.
That one was tough.
No truer words have ever been spoken. It's a shame I have to step in.
To make it.
It's clear that Thorstein is the one who has been wronged. It is my suggestion that Bjorn be removed from my expedition and exiled, never to return. His lands and trade goods will be forfeit, gone to pay the costs of finding another navigator with so little time to spare.
No, Harald.
Do not draw more of my wrath upon yourself. I could have named you a murderer and demanded your death.
What say you, men of Stavanger? Do you accept the terms put forth by Harald Jarl?
We choose exile.
Exile.
Exile! Then it is decided. Now come, Thorstein. We have a navigator to find.
Thorstein's reputation is restored as is his position in Harald's good graces. Bjorn sentenced to exile no longer poses a threat to Thorstein and can heal his honor and household. Cool. Reputation restored. Reward unlocked. Elderman set. Next quest restored in 27. Continue. No, I want to explore freely. Can I do that? Yeah. Nice. This was really cool. Like, I wonder if you get something more if you do all the collectibles, if you will. Look at that. I really enjoy this. Music facing Valhalla.
Music is at the core of AC Valhalla's experience, defining territories and moods. To create an acoustic dichotomy between Norsemen and Angles, Norway's music borrows sounds from rituals and daily life, while England's music revolves more around the church. In total, it's 5 hours of music composed through the collaboration of Jesper Kudd, Sarah Schachner, and Einar Selvik. But the music doesn't stop there. To the uncontrollable delight of AC Black Flag fans, sea shanties were also added to AC Valhalla. They're sung as Eivor sails on the longship by none other than Einar Selvik, Skald Bragi in the game.
Cool. So what do we have left? What is that? Is this? Yeah, this is what we did. Okay, so let's go here. What is this? Deciding Stavanger. So I haven't been to this one. Is this another one? No. Where is the same? Selling Stavanger, level design, historical accuracy versus compelling gameplay.
Stavanger, as with many cities in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is based on an existing city, also called Stavanger. To reconstruct it, level designers and artists used maps, pictures and drawings by archaeologist Jean-Claude Galvin as references, adding alterations for gameplay purposes. While not all the towns resembled Galvin's drawings, some iconic details helped give a Scandinavian signature to the towns and settlements of the game, easily recognizable by players. Narrow streets, docks, and a salient longhouse in the distance, they all incite exploration and the need for adventure.
Cool. Let's see. We have one here that I haven't done. Yeah, you probably don't get anything extra for doing all of this, but I enjoy it, so I'm gonna do them. The land of ice and snow. Scandinavia in the Viking Age was depicted as a land of ice and snow. It's often believed that its barren, frozen nature drove the Scandinavians to leave their homeland. The truth was more complicated. Ancient Scandinavia was not all ice and snow. It included green, lush landscapes like these Norwegian islands. In fact, its soil was quite fertile along the coast and in the south, and could yield a generous crop. However, Scandinavian harvests did pale in comparison to those in the Frankish or Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, adding incentive for the invasion and settlement of those lands. So I think we done everything here. Yeah, so we gotta go over here. And we do have a horse. What's hold on there? What's this? Yeah, that was that. white landscapes. Snow here, there and everywhere.
For players to recognize their surroundings easily, developers wanted to create a clash between the English and Norwegian maps. So Norwegian landscapes are covered with ice and snow, with little road to travel by land. While Scandinavia wasn't as barren as we're made to believe, the harsh and uninviting land depicted in AC Valhalla means to push the player towards England and continue Eivor's journey. To do so, level artists, tech artists, and level designers used the Lofoten Island as a visual reference to emulate its rough landscapes. Through shapes and outlines, the designers made the world feel treacherous.
I've been there, by the way.
While
Lofoten.
England's flora is lush and lively, the grass is always greener on the other side of the sea.
When I was very young, on a fishing trip with a family. Character unlocked. Basim. Now we're gonna read the codexes as well. Not fall. Divinities of the sea, myths and legends. Ancient Scandinavians believed in a vast pantheon of powerful supernatural beings. These divinities oversaw different realms, including the sea. Just like the ocean itself, sea divinities could be both kind and cruel. Many divinities oversaw the seas and oceans. One of the most important was Njord, a god from the Vanir tribe. Father of the twin fidelity gods Freyr and Freya, Njord looked after the sea, the wind, and fishermen like those aboard this ship. Another sea divinity was Aegir. He was not a god but a giant and the embodiment of the sea itself. His name even meant sea. That is interesting. That is very close to what is called the Aegean Sea, right? But wasn't that a sea from ancient Roman times? I think so. Legend said that Aegir sat at the head of a great underwater hole where all those lost at sea would join together and feast beneath the waves. Aegir's wife, the goddess Ran of the sea tribe, was not as kindly as her husband. She would stalk reckless sailors and shipwreck victims, trap them in her nets, and drag them into the watery depths to drown. So that was everything there. And these should be the last ones. Let's steal a horse. Stand. Understood. I leave Scandinavia. West Scandinavia was more than just a land of ice and snow. Farming and agriculture supported many people and their families, but there was a high demand for land and not much to go around. To be a landowner was to have high status in Norse society. The wealthy Scandinavians controlled the West states. Land could increase both a person's power and their wealth. This made it very desirable. It was also very hard to get. There wasn't very much land in Scandinavia. It was arable or good for growing crops. Furthermore, Norse land ownership was complicated. It was believed that the person's forebears continued to inhabit their authal or ancestral territory beyond that. Because the family's ancestors lived on in the land, it could not be divided. When a parent passed away, the land could not be split among the children. It could only be possessed by one family member at a time. That left many people unable to inherit land, and many people attempted to leave Scandinavia and seek it elsewhere. They might have found a fresh start in a community like the one pictured here, an abandoned settlement in Northumbria. Grooming and hygiene. The medieval Scandinavians took pride in their appearance, enjoying baths and caring for their hair and beards. Men would trim their beards and comb them. Their combs were finally crafted from wood, metal and bone, as seen in this image. They would also braid their beards and beat them for decoration. Women cared for long hair, braiding and styling it. Both men and women braided regularly. These rigorous standards for personal grooming were more easily met by people of high social status. They had more time and money to spend on hygiene. Dividing the spoils. Each freeman on board the ship, including the captain, had an equal share of responsibility and an equal voice in making decisions, but when it came to distributing the wealth, all equality soon vanished. The biggest piece of the pie went to the owner of the boat. Sometimes this was the captain or steersman, but not always. If several people had helped to pay for the expedition, the wealth would be distributed according to the scale of their investment. The more money an investor had put in at the start of the voyage, the more they would receive at its end. Unfortunately, not all voyages had a happy ending. This return was erected by a son to honor his father and his crew, all of whom were lost at sea. And that is all the discovery sites. And we didn't get anything more. Yeah, I didn't think so, but I wanted to see. New game, new quest. 50 different versions before finding the right one.
It's difficult to set oneself apart in a sea of Viking-themed media, but it was the challenge marketing and art teams faced when creating AC Valhalla's visual identity. Together, they designed logos and crests, selected fonts and colours and interfaces. As a result, 50 different logos were created for the brand to find the right fit. The 2 Axes logo on the bottom right of this picture. They must have been exhausted. The turquoise colour was added early on as a nod to the aurora borealis that illuminate the Norwegian skies. 2 axes for dual wielding form the A of Assassin's Creed. At their end, the outline of a longhouse rooftop, with delicate engravings to underline Norse crafting skills. Finally, the faded grid in the background serves as a reminder of the Animus simulation.
Cool. And that was the last of that. Have we done everything now? Oh, look at this. Into the west. Oh, so we there's like several parts of with the same characters. Yeah. Wow. But hold on here. Why does it say this is number 1 and 4 and 3? Where's the second one? What does that mean? Like, is it the Atlas somewhere else? Let's see. Yeah, look at this. 2. Let's see. 7. There's a bunch of these. This is cool. I like this a lot. Like, way more than I thought I would. It's really cool. And then that you get like charity items for a character in the game as well. For doing it is the best part, but still, I do like enjoy it by itself. Codex. Learnings. Each new piece of historical knowledge, whether from quests, discovery sites, or elsewhere in the world, will be collected here. To unlock and learn more about a specific topic, look at this menu entry and complete the given objective. Behind the scenes. Okay. Valhalla rewards. Unlock new cosmetics, companions and gear for Assassin's Creed Valhalla by exploring the world and completing quests. This is a unique offer reserved for DLC players only. Behind the scenes. Is this the ones that we saw? Yeah.
For players to...
No. Music. The Alderman set. Composed of refined selected heirloom pieces. Taken from the Viking era, this set is made to impress. You feel like a real Anglo-Saxon lord with his authentic hood, helmet, chest piece, braces, and pants. And these are all other stuff you can get. And we're gonna get everything. Wow. This is super cool. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in all. Torsten exploration characters. When exploring the world outside of a quest, you can customize your appearance by selecting a playable character. Huh. To unlock a specific character, look at your menu, enter and complete the given objective. Torsten, patient, honorable. Torsten years to be a great merchant. Merchant can heal them. Alright. Huh. But you can only select these when you're done with the main thing, I suppose. When you're just exploring it like we just did. things. Oh yeah, that's that. I see. Hold on. Yeah, 7. Okay, so we're gonna call it here. We're gonna do 1 quest per episode from now on. But they seem to be around an hour long, so that's perfect. So we're gonna call it here. And if you like this, please like and subscribe and comment if you will. And thank you for watching. I really enjoyed this episode. Loved it. Bye bye for now.